It wasn't the prettiest of days today. We stayed under mostly cloudy to overcast skies. Temperatures, though, at least felt very fall-like. And in fact, we stayed generally in the low 70s for most locations. A few areas where we were able to see a little bit more sun got into the mid and upper 70s, such as out over Baton Rouge, where you could see we got into the more sunshine, whereas much of our viewing area stayed under the relatively cloudy skies. That helped to keep our temperatures down. So our high today was a full 11 degrees below average at only 71, and our morning low was cooler than average as well. Next couple of days will be a little warmer before another surge of cool air. In the lower 70s outside at the moment, but a little warmer out over Baton Rouge at 79, although they too were below the average. And the dew points have come up a little bit. We had a strong north wind yesterday, and boy, those winds were still whipping during the night last night. Far less today, and a light northerly wind, which will change to more of a light easterly wind late tonight and on into the day tomorrow, as well as before another front moves through early Saturday, and that will bring in another surge of drier air, then a surge of cooler air. We kept the low cloudiness around, somewhat associated with that broad low that brought us all of that much needed rainfall yesterday. Thankfully, that is starting to erode away, so we'll see gradually clearing skies through the overnight. May have a little bit of cloudiness to start the day tomorrow, and then plenty of sunshine. Then we're going to be watching for this system setting up. This is our cold front. Now, the initial front will only bring in the drier air. So Saturday, high temperature still in the low 80s, but it will feel maybe a little bit more comfortable. If you're hoping for maybe another chance at some rainfall, not going to happen. Maybe a passing cloud with that front, but certainly no rainfall. We get into drier air for Saturday, but note we'll have a warm afternoon in the lower 80s, which is still about normal for this time of year. Then the cooler air settles in late Saturday and going into Sunday. So both days this weekend, gorgeous weather, but it'll be Sunday that is the cooler day. Saturday, a high of around 83 degrees, then about a 10-degree drop for Sunday afternoon, and our morning lows will be dropping 40s and 50s heading into next week as well. Going into tomorrow morning, 50s, low 60s. Cool morning, but not particularly cold, nor will we be on Saturday morning. 60s generally on both sides of the lake. Then as that cooler air starts moving in Sunday morning, 40s, low 50s, and upper 50s, and then much colder as we start, or I will say chillier as we head into early next week. That's when we'll start to see more of those widespread 40s. Here's what's going on in the upper atmosphere. This is the upper low that we're watching. This is what will push the front on through for early on Saturday. But notice the upper energy kind of lifts to the east, and we have what's called a zonal flow, meaning a west to east flow. That keeps the colder air to our north for Saturday. By Sunday into early next week, we get this secondary surge. That is what brings in the cooler air, which will take us right through almost all of next week. Watching the tropics, again, we're done with our non-tropical, thankfully, Gulf low that brought in the rainfall yesterday, and a couple of areas that we'll be watching in the Atlantic basin. Sean looks like it's going to dissipate out over the central Atlantic, so not too much of a concern. Something that we'll be watching maybe a little closer is Invest 94. Really not for impacts to us, but it does look like coming in at a very low latitude could eventually impact maybe the islands as we head further into next week. With more cold fronts and the upper pattern kind of taking shape over the southeast, including southeast Louisiana. As we get further into October, the threats for any of these long-range systems just becomes non-existent, as the upper pattern generally keeps those type of features away from us. We are just about done with the season. Again, that key date has always been October 15th, and I think we're going to be quiet right through that date, and really nothing else on the horizon. We may be wrapping up hurricane season. High temperatures in the lower 80s for the next couple of days. Again, a little less humid by Saturday, election day, but also our solar eclipse. We'll talk more about that at 6 o'clock. Cooler air moves in for Sunday, and we stay on the cool side for most of next week.